You and I have the ability to make each day a masterpiece by the decisions we make and the actions we take. What am I saying? I'm saying that you can design your day so that by the end of it, you've actually made a work of art. In this video, I want to break down how I plan my day in Craft using the Daily Notes feature and templates. So in Craft, you have the Daily Notes and Calendar integration. So you can create notes for any calendar events, or you can use the Daily Notes as like a scratch pad for ideas, thoughts, to-dos, or whatever you'd like. And any event notes will be added as a page to your daily note. So it's all in one place for you to organize later if you decide to do that. Now, I personally use the Daily Notes feature for planning my day by inserting a template into the note each day. Now, I could throw this template into any document in a folder titled Daily Plan or something like that, but there isn't an easy way to get back to the note for review. And since I'm referencing this note throughout the entire day, I need easy access to it. So the Daily Notes helps me with that. The calendar integration is very nice because I get an overview of my day without having to leave the app. So I can click on any day and it will take me straight to that note, so I can visit previous notes with ease. So if you want to create a template in Craft, you head on over to My Templates in the left sidebar, and you will create a new note. You can hit Command N to do that. That's a shortcut. And then you can design the page however you like, the template however you like. And then once you're finished, it is saved inside of the My Templates folder. And now you can also create another document outside of the My Templates folder and then move it into that folder, and it'll become a template as well. So now that you've created a template, now it's time to insert that template into a daily note. And to do that, you need to go over to the left sidebar and you'll see a little calendar icon. Once you click that, it'll open up the calendar where you can choose any date. You can pick any date that you want to start with, and it's going to open up a new daily note. It's going to be blank. The quick shortcut there to get to the template is to hit the / and then start typing the word template. And you'll see an option that comes up that says Insert from Template. Once you click that, it's going to open up a window here, and then you'll see your templates on the top. And then below that are some templates that Craft has created and other people from the community as well. But here, I'm going to choose the Daily Planner template. And then it just loads for me right here inside of the daily note for the date that I've chosen. All right, so now we are looking at the daily planner that I created, the template that I created that I use every day when I'm designing my day. A couple things to note. The things that I do not need to work on, but they are there to help inspire me. Things like goals that I have that are weekly goals, quarterly goals, something like that. They get bullet points. And things that I do need to work on and do need to take action on, those actually get check boxes. And a quick tip, every time that you add a checkbox inside of a daily note, in the top right hand corner it starts adding up those as to-dos. And every time you check it off, it will automatically change that number for you. So if you have 9 to-dos, it'll change it to 8 once you check one off, and so on and so forth. So it's a great kind of quick visual cue to see how you're doing that day. Now, I want to be inspired when I review my daily notes, so I've made it a little bit more visually appealing with a nice graphic at the top that says "Make today a masterpiece," and then at the bottom I've got a quote: "Don't judge each day by the harvest that you reap, but the seeds that you plant." It's one of my favorite quotes, just to remind me of every day I am planting seeds, and I may not see the harvest, but I'm continuing to plant those seeds. The graphics were created inside of Canva, and then I threw them in here as an image, and I made the background of the actual image the same color as Craft's background, so it blends in as if it's part of the note. The first thing that I start with is prayer, and these are prayers for the day that will help me make this day meaningful. Right, so I go through those prayers, and then I go to review, and I have review inside of what they call a toggle. So you can use toggles to hide information that you don't necessarily need to see at the moment, but you can always expand to view at any time that you need. And in my review, I have quarterly goals and then my weekly big three. So each quarter, I will decide on 3 goals, 1 to 3 goals, to go after and pursue. And then I also will decide every week 3 big goals that I'm going to go after. They usually have to do with the quarterly goals. Sometimes not, sometimes it's not related, but most of the time it is. And the idea here with the review is to consistently remind myself of what I'm working towards. Right? I can write down the goals that inspire me to take action all day, but if I'm not reviewing them, I will forget them. Out of sight, out of mind. So I actually start with this too. Before I get to today's plan, I start with reviewing this to remind me, what is the end goal here? What am I trying to achieve? And what can I do today to work towards that? So that leads me to today's plan. This is that section right here. And this is the one thing, what I call the one thing. And the question I have here is, what is the one thing that I can do today that would make today a masterpiece? And most of the time, this is going to be pulling from my weekly big three, because that's something that is tied to my quarterly big three. But sometimes I'll actually look at my calendar or to-do-list. There may be something that is pressing and urgent that I need to take care of today. And if I only had to do one thing, then I may choose something that may not be related to my big three. But I do have the other days of the week to try and tackle my weekly big three. And then inside of today's plan, we also have rhythms, daily rhythms. Gretchen Rubin says that habits are the invisible architecture of our lives. Right? So these rhythms are the invisible architecture that help make each day a masterpiece for me. A lot of it has to do with spending time with God, moving. I like to take a walk in the beginning of the day, and what I call my move, pray, think, walk. And then I'm trying to plan my food for the day and get healthy, so I have some habits for that, some rhythms for that. And I have a rhythm as well to love my wife, to try and do at least one thing to love her. So these are keystone habits for me. And I try to achieve these every day. And again, that's not perfect. Not every day actually has all this filled out, but this is what I'm shooting for and aiming for. And then we have the daily highlight. So instead of reflecting on the day at the end of the day and ask myself what my highlight was, I go ahead and choose the highlight for the day at the beginning of the day. And so I'll look at my calendar, I'll look at maybe the one thing that I'm trying to do, and that may be my highlight for the day. I'll look at just what I've got going on today, and I'll choose a highlight. And this comes from the book Make Time. I'll put a link in the description for you to check it out. It's just a great way to kind of get ahead and be proactive, and instead of saying I will reflect later to see what my highlight is going to be. I'm going to decide now, and that's going to be my highlight. And of course, some things are spontaneous and come up and they become your highlight, and so I will jot those down. If it does happen and it comes up, then I'll have 2 highlights. And what's really cool about this, this is a daily note, so during my weekly review, I go through each of these notes, and I can easily see when I'm asking myself, okay, what were the highlights for my week? I actually have a highlight section that I can go through, and I can notate and look at all of those highlights from each note and just kind of reflect or remember what happened during the week. And then lastly, there's everything else. So if there's anything that I think I need to take care of that is not the one thing that I'm doing, that if I finish my one thing for that day and I need to do something else, that'll go on that list. Hey, if you found this useful, take a look at this next video where I talk about a system that helps you capture, organize, distill, and express your unique thoughts, ideas, and stories.